But the good news is that it turns out, but calcium is a cardiac membrane stabilizer. So it theoretically is supposed to lessen the chances of deteriorating to a non-perfusing cardiac rhythm. But again, calcium.
One of the other papers talked about that are referenced in this, talks about the I don't know what kind of trial, a benchtop trial, but they looked at how does calcium work for the heart. Mm-hmm. It actually does nothing to do with the concentration gradient. It has everything to do with speeding up conduction velocity. And that's at least how this paper says calcium worked.
That makes a ton of sense, actually. Yeah. That would be, phase 0 of cardiac contractility, I think. But, to your point earlier, calcium actually does nothing to treat hyperkalemia. It just prevents you, hopefully, from dying. And then the sodium bicarbonate, which has a ton of sodium, hopefully can just improve your abysmal serum pH when you're in CPR so that your medications can actually be functional. But in this particular paper, what we saw is they looked at, to your point, 1,100 people who had CPR, and one of them had a favorable neurologic outcome at time of discharge. That's a bummer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess like cardiac arrest, I guess to just discharge, I would want to see, like if you're having a heart attack in the hospital, my guess it wasn't the heart attack that brought you to the hospital. It was something else. Probably serious because it made your heart stop. So there's got to be a lot of confounders. I've seen many, probably not to you many, but to me many, patients that just go into cardiac arrest and they bring them back. And then the next day they go into cardiac arrest and you bring them back until essentially the family tells them to stop. One doesn't surprise me, but there's got to be other confounders other than, did you give that guy calcium or not? Or did you give that guy bicarb or not? Like they're not magic fairy dust. You got to still have to fix the cause.